Wisdom Delve.
Have you ever felt that the universe deliberately separates you from people, situations, or even desires that you believe are right and good for you, as if some invisible force prevents you from reaching the very things you think are meant for you? You've done good repeatedly, yet received no response. A sense of misfortune, despair, and loneliness has surrounded you. Sometimes you ask yourself, why is it that whatever I want doesn't happen? Why does it seem that the more I strive, the less I achieve? But I, Carl Gustav Jung, bring you glad tidings. Contrary to how it appears, and contrary to what you may feel, this isolation is not a punishment. It is a hidden reward. The universe is not punishing you. It is preparing you for profound inner transformation. This loneliness is an invitation, a call from the unconscious to face your true self. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakes. This solitude is an opportunity to encounter your shadow, the aspects of yourself you repressed for years. It may seem frightening at first, like entering a pitch-dark room where nothing is visible. But just as your eyes slowly adapt to the darkness, you too will begin to perceive your inner world. In this darkness, in this silence, you draw closer to your own truth. Solitude is for me a fount of healing, which makes my life worth living. Shift your perspective slightly. Let us look at these conditions from another angle. This solitude is not imposed. It is constructive. It frees you from all the shoulds and should nots that society has dictated to you. It liberates you from the masks you wear in different crowds. Now is the time to acquaint yourself with those parts of your being that you have always suppressed. Your true identity is not what others expect of you, but what you truly are, and it is formed in these very moments. Loneliness is the teacher of the highest order. In solitude, the individual confronts their psyche, and it is there that individuation begins. Loneliness is not the absence of others. Loneliness is the inability to connect deeply with those around you, and that is precisely where your transformation begins. Look at the lives of great individuals. Many of the world's most significant thoughts, discoveries, and creations flourished after periods of isolation and solitude. To confront a person with his shadow is to show him his own light. Surely you've experienced this too. Those moments of silence and solitude where you can make better decisions or understand the meaning behind events in your life. The very silence you often flee. It is not only the spark that ignites your encounter with the shadow, but also the threshold where the archetypes within you begin to awaken. But let me ask you, have you ever truly listened to your dreams? Have you paused long enough to ask, what hidden story lies behind this recurring image in my life? You see, the archetypes do not speak in words. They speak in image, in myth, in symbol. They appear as the wise old man, the nurturing mother, the lost child, the hero, the trickster. And they are always there, awaiting your attention. You may encounter the image of the wise old man in a dream or a sudden vision, a figure with piercing eyes inviting you inward, toward introspection. This wise old man is a symbol of unconscious wisdom, something you have not yet attained in your daily consciousness, but which your soul knows you must pursue. The wise old man is a personification of that deeper insight which transcends the conscious mind, especially when the ego is lost in confusion. And the lost child, have you met him too? A child searching for warmth, silently weeping, hiding in the corner? This child is a part of you, wounded, forgotten, or suppressed in early life. He represents vulnerability, innocence, and also the immense potential for rebirth. The child is one of the most powerful archetypes because it contains the seed of future transformation. It is that which is not yet become, but may yet come to be. The hero, perhaps you've seen him in your imagination many times. The one who stands firm against fear, who walks through the darkness and finds a treasure. He is a symbol of your inner journey, of suffering that leads to awareness. He is who you strive to become. And then, the trickster, a cheerful, mischievous figure, yet deeply deceptive. He leads you astray, yet sometimes this misdirection is necessary. For without losing your way, how can you ever truly find it? Do you now begin to understand where these images come from? Do you see how your soul, in silence and solitude, speaks to you in the language of symbols? Are you willing to listen to these voices, rather than suppress them? Solitude is the threshold of inner dialogue, and the self reveals a path to wholeness through image, dream, and myth. Archetypes are like riverbeds which dry up during drought, but can be filled again at any moment by the flow of water. So I ask you again, what images return in your solitude? What roles do you unconsciously replay again and again? Could it be that your solitude is a stage for an ancient drama unfolding within you? Solitude is sacred because it lowers the noise of the outer world so that the inner symbols can begin to emerge. And in this silence, you may encounter the self, the central archetype representing your totality. And what is the self, if not the sum of all that you are and all you might yet become? The self is not only the center, but also the whole circumference which embraces both the conscious and the unconscious. It is the center of this totality. But be warned, if you run from solitude, you also run from the rite of initiation. You flee from the path toward your own wholeness. For archetypes do not shout, they whisper, and only those with the courage to endure silence will hear their voice. Have you ever felt that your life keeps circling back to the same patterns? The same losses, the same fears, the same obsessions? These are not accidents. These are archetypal cycles, psychic patterns seeking to be made conscious. We are not merely dealing with isolated events or personal dreams, but with a psychological motif that repeats itself persistently. So I urge you, do not flee your solitude. Enter it, sit with it, and above all, listen, because in that silence, the ancient gods will begin to whisper once more. Remember, the shadow does not vanish by neglect. This dark and unfamiliar part of your being is so patient and quiet, as if it has been sitting silently in the background of your mind for years, watching you. But if you ignore it, if you try to turn a blind eye or deny it with a mask of goodness and pleasantry, the shadow will not remain silent. If you refuse to face it, it will return in more complicated and painful ways. Sometimes in your relationships, sometimes in your repeated poor choices, and sometimes in emotions that you cannot trace to any origin. The shadow is a wound which, if not healed, will reappear in new yet painfully familiar forms. So I offer this to you again. Accept this invisible gift of existence. Solitude, though bitter on the surface, can become the ground of your salvation, a return to your true self. This isolation is a call to growth. You are not alone. The universe is in silent conversation with you. In every silence, in every symbol, in every repeated pattern you observe in your life, quiet voice is calling to you. The voice of the unconscious, the voice of the archetypes, the voice of existence. Your loneliness is not an accident. This solitude has a language of its own. If you listen with the ear of the heart, you will see that the universe has not forgotten you. It is preparing you,